Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Welcome to the Dhammapada program. Thank you for coming. And today I am going to discuss the verse number 57 of the Dhammapada, that is from the chapter 5, entitled Puppha in Pali language. In English it is flower. Once someone approached the Buddha and asked a question about his acquaintance who passed away, and he wanted to know where he has gone. At that time, Buddha uttered a nice verse. Tesang sampanya silanam appamada viharinam sammadanya vimuttanam maro maggan navindati. That is, in a nutshell, the evil one finds not the path of those who are virtuous. That means virtuous one's path is hard for the evil ones to find. Those who are virtuous and carefully living and freed from suffering by right knowledge and understanding, so the evil one will never find the path who are virtuous and carefully living. And that was the answer of the Buddha. And this was also related to a very nice story. At the time of the Buddha, there was a monk called Godhika was living at the side of a very popularly known Isingili mountain. It is in India, of course. And this monk was practicing tranquility and insight meditation. When we had achieved one-pointedness of mind, which I discussed my last sermon when I gave the talk on number 56. I discussed about more in details jhana. It was a little bit hard for ordinary people to understand, but I still explained. I told them that it is good to try to understand, because these are very important dhammas. So one-pointedness of mind. When he had achieved one-pointedness of mind, he became very sick, and it impaired effectiveness of his practice. It was really painful. One was trying hard, and here all of a sudden he became sick. By neglecting his sickness, he continued to strive hard, diligently. Whenever he made any progress, he was overcome by sickness. 6 times he experienced the same thing. Finally, he decided to put more efforts to attain enlightenment called arahantship, arahanthood, enlightenment, even if he were to die in the process. You see, work hard, don't be lazy. So without any relaxation, he continued his practice industriously, hard practice. In the end, he decided to take his own life. What a silly thing he was planning. Should never think of that. But he decided to take his own life. A kind of physical pain was chosen as the object of meditation, because he was concentrating on breath and all different objects, but he was still not to his desired expectations, but he was to do more and more, put more and more efforts to reaching and achieving his goal, and decided to commit suicide. Never think such a foolish thing. But it shows his determination, because it is very difficult and hard to maintain concentration in the face of pain and agony. So he's concentrating on the pain. That was his plan. A kind of physical pain was chosen as the object of meditation. Physical pain, not an object, of course it's an object, but cannot be something, not tangible, but pain, physical pain. And he cut his throat with a knife. Never think of such a foolish thing. So concentrating on the pain, now he cut his throat and pain, terrible pain, and he was concentrating on the pain, pain. Continue to concentrate on the pain. It was his method of concentrating. It shows his determination, because it is very difficult and hard to maintain concentration in the face of pain and agony. In the face of pain and agony. The evil one learned that Godika has passed away, and he tried to hear about where he was reborn. He was not concerned about how he died, where arrangements of funerals or anything. It was just, isn't it funny? He was just thinking where he has gone. He wants to know where he is now, where he has gone after his death. The evil one. And he tried to hear about where he was reborn, but failed to find him, and prostrated. What happened? He's gone, he can't find. And then he thought that the right person would be the Buddha to know him. He somehow managed to reach the Buddha. He approached the Buddha and inquired where Venerable Godika was. Where Venerable Godika was? He's no more, he's dead. Listen, Buddha's answer is very interesting. It will be of no use or benefit for you to learn of the destination of Venerable Godika. No use. If he is in heaven or hell or anywhere, it's of no use to you. He had been freed from all the mental defilements and attained arahanthood. And he had ended his rebirth. He chose pain as a method of meditation. He has been practicing day and night, putting enormous pressure, efforts. And when he saw little bit progress in that, he wanted to reach that destination. Destination that he is thinking of is enlightenment. To be free from all defilements. And putting pressure, and working hard, putting enormous efforts. And that's how he was concentrating. After cutting throat, he was pain, concentrating on the pain as a method of meditation. And during that time, he attained the enlightenment. Buddha said he had ended his rebirth. When you end birth, there's no birth, there's no rebirth. Then when there is no birth, there is no death. People who are afraid of dying, who are afraid to face death. Many people, like this person who went to Buddha and asked, "Where was my friend? He is dead, where was?" The Buddha said, "It's of no use of knowing whereabouts of him. You will never find, because he's an enlightened one. He has ended his birth." And people, those who are going to die, very often they are crying of pain. Why? Because I do not know where I am going. In a short while, in few minutes, in few seconds, I am going to say goodbye to this world. Are you afraid? You do not know where you are heading for. And that time, some they get heart attack. Why? No history of heart attack. But here, out of fear, he was going to die a natural death, but here, out of fear, he get heart attack, and he died of heart attack. Many people. That happens to many people. It happens to many people. Why? Because you never think of death is coming to you. You should always think death is on the way. Do you think? What? What? You must think. Reflect on that. That will help you to be a better person. Get rid of all these evil things, bad things, and so that you can leave this world happily without any attachment, any sorrow, happily, with a smile on your face, not the tears rolling down your eyes. Right? You cannot find where the arahants go after death, where the enlightened ones go after death, because there is no rebirth. They have ended rebirth. That in Pali words, in a Buddhist term, popularly known as Nibbana, free from attachment, lust. So, it is important to know what is Nibbana. You will never find Nibbana anywhere else. The final cessation of all suffering. is found in the Buddha's teaching. That's why Sir Winston Churchill once said, late Honorable Prime Minister of England, Sir Winston Churchill, he said, if you want war, go to the West. If you want peace, go to the East. Why? Buddha's teaching, Buddha Dharma is there. That will help you to find the peace, an eternal peace that is free from all suffering. And this is what Buddha told this person who came to see Buddha, to know whereabouts of his friend Venerable Godika, who passed away. That's the time Buddha said, you will never find where he was, because they have ended their rebirth. You can do that. We can do that. Only thing, we need put efforts so that when there is no death, there is no birth. There is no birth, there is no death. Those who are afraid of death, please stop birth. Right? Yes. You just stop the birth. Then there's no death. So that's what, this is why Buddha's teaching is very important. Very important. There's no match for Buddha's teaching. Unique and sublime teaching. It's good to put little bit effort to know what is Buddhism. That's what Buddha taught. A friend of mine asked me one day, well, I am a Christian. Reverend, can I do? Oh, I just told him, if you are a Christian, please be a good Christian. Remain as you are. But to practice meditation, we do not need to be a Buddhist. It's only a label. People, they say, I am Christian, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am this. And some die because of in the name of religion. They die, they kill, they bomb. What a foolish thing. There's no such thing in Buddha's teaching. For the 2,500 years ago, Buddhism came to this world. Not a single drop of blood was shed in the name of for propagating the Buddha's teaching. Peaceful is the Buddha's teaching. I ask you to apply little bit of Buddha's teaching to your life. Don't worry. If you are a Christian, remain as a Christian. If you are Muslim, remain as a Muslim. There are a lot of Christians, a lot of Muslims, a lot of Hindus, a lot of other believers, they practice meditation. We never ask you to convert. That is not the Buddha's teaching. You remain as you are. But practice meditation. That will help you to be a better person. You will realize it with the progress of the meditation. Right? Here the doctrine, what is there? They are those who, those who have attained to the highest level enlightenment. They do not commit any sin, any action related to sinful way. They are fear of sins and very ashamed of wicked action, words and thought. There is no such things. Those who have attained enlightenment, those are the people who are full of virtues. Therefore, it is important for us to understand how we become enlightened. Here the doctrine of Hiri and Ottappa play a major role. The term Hiri means, Hiri is a Pali word, the sense of shame, bashfulness, coyness, shyness to commit sins. To commit sins. We must be ashamed of committing sins. An interpretation given that Kaya duccharitadihi hiriyatiti hiri. That is a Pali term, which means shamefulness of committing immoral acts. Shamefulness committing immoral acts. So many are there in our society that are shy to take bad actions. Shy to take bad actions. The term Ottappa, Hiri, I explained you, Ottappa, Pali word again, term means shrinking back from doing wrong, or remorse. This word Ottappa generally goes with Hiri, and both words are considered a noble treasure in Buddhist texts. Hiri Ottappa Sampanna, those who possess the quality of Hiri and Ottappa, that means shamefulness of committing immoral acts is Hiri, and shrinking back from wrong or remorse, Ottappa. Therefore, shyness and fear to commit sinful action is a kind of pressure for a person to lead a successful, happy life. So the general persons who are shy to do sins and fear to do sins are considered to belong to the thus fully enlightened arhants. Enlightened ones also belong to this category. For they spontaneously are freed from wicked actions. Freed from wicked actions spontaneously as a result of their attainment, a spiritual attainment. They spontaneously are freed from wicked actions. Appamada viharinam. Appamada viharinam. Appamada viharinam. That means practicing the doctrine of sati. Sati means mindful of every action. Mindful of every action. Satipatthana. Here, Appamada suggests thoughtfulness, carefulness, vigilance, or watchfulness. All these terms are used. It is the mindfulness, not negligence for meritorious activities. Normally, monks are expected to be appamada viharanam bhikkhunam, persons who are attentive to good actions and especially wholesome qualities. Kusala, we call wholesome actions. For that special behavior, they need the ethical knowledge. No monk is successful if he has no proper ethical knowledge. A Buddhist layman with ethical knowledge and human qualities is capable of performing a great service to mankind, to be service to mankind. So here, ethical knowledge would pave the way for total transformation of life. Ethical knowledge will pave the way for the total transformation of our life. It does not need any forceful effort to change, but a person with ethical knowledge automatically would be heading to self-transformation. See, a person with ethical knowledge automatically would be heading to self-transformation. Self-transformation, total change of mentality, innermost change, the self-transformation. Self-cultivation comes. Doing kusalas, wholesome activities, altruistic actions. Therefore, the most essential and pivotal code is the ethical knowledge. Ethical knowledge. That is, it means knowing the reality. Yatha bhuta jnana dassana, or the things as they really are. As they really are. To know. The reality in Buddhism is dukkha satya, truth of suffering or agony. Samudaya satya, truth of the cause of suffering. Nirodha satya, truth of cessation of suffering or nibbana. Samambonam. And magga satya, truth of the Noble Eightfold Path, middle way. So, this is therefore the most essential and things to know, to gain the yatha bhuta jnana dassa, to see the reality, the truth. The reality in Buddhism is Four Noble Truths. Dukkha satya, truth of suffering, agony. Samudaya satya, truth of what is the origin of suffering. Then Nirodha satya. First is dukkha satya, truth of suffering, agony. Then samudaya satya, truth of cause of suffering. Nirodha satya, truth of cessation of suffering, which is we call in Buddhism Nibbana. There's a samam bonam, magga satcha, truth of the Noble Eightfold Path. So this is the meaning in a nutshell of this 57th verse. May you all be well and happy. Sukhi hotu.